welcome, voice from Ukraine. You want to give it a few seconds? Let's see if some more people want to join up. Let me see. Oh, you guys see me?
Yeah.
I don't
Hello,
see.
Lynn. We don't see you. You're out.
Oh, there we go.
I'll be
All
there.
right.
There you go.
All right. One technical issues.
Do that. I'll close my door.
Go ahead.
So we don't have any Labradors or Beagles walking in.
I have a few laying here. I have actually two of my little puppies here laying here with me, so they're being quiet. They're being good. Well, welcome everybody. As everybody's joining, it's Monday. A lot of craziness to unfold. Thank God Alex is here. I know last time, Malcolm, you weren't here, but we were doing a special yesterday on Sunday, Voice from Ukraine, going into some of the stuff that was happening, and there were air raids. Alex had to cut it off short. So we'll get to that in a second. Just there's a lot to go over. I mean, from Donald Trump yesterday. I mean, Donald Trump. If any of you read the Substacks or have watched the news or have seen anything, it's been all over with Donald Trump's interview on Meet the Press. I mean, what I'm just gonna say is it's simple. I mean, he is saying it exactly. There's no more read between the lines. You know, like when you guys listen to myself, like Alex, Malcolm, and when we sit there and tell you, oh, we have sources or we know or we did or this and that. Now he's telling you directly. Now it's not even like hearsay. He's telling you directly. He doesn't know. Just think about this. I mean, out of the whole thing, the craziest part of it is the sitting president of the United States of America sat there and said, I don't know if the president of America, the United States of America, has to follow the Constitution of the United States. Just think about that for a second. I mean, I don't even know. We're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that. Uh, Still going to get into the attacks that are happening as we speak. I mean, you know, yes, you hear it on the news media or a little bit here and there that there's some ceasefire that Putin's trying to put out. We're going to talk about that because today, again, there was over 116 drones. Alex will get into that and tell us what's going on overnight. We'll talk about the cease proposal that is total garbage. And then we're going to get into another couple of interesting things. First of all, today, President Xi from China announced that he is going to be joining Vladimir Putin side by side in his victory parade on May 9th. So this changes a lot of things, and we're going to discuss about what Ukraine should or should not do or where they stand. Because if you recall yesterday, we were speaking about where Zelensky basically said that, you know, if you want to ceasefire, you start it now. And we're not going to wait till, you know, those 3-day events. So now with Xi going there, does it complicate? That's why we got Malcolm here to break that all down. And then I mean, I'm going to end it off with this one because you can't make it up. But Donald Trump is also planning his own parade. I mean, you could call it victory. I don't know what you could call it, but he's calling it his birthday parade. And he's planning on destroying Washington, D.C. He's planning on bringing such heavy machinery and tanks to show how powerful the United States is and how great we are, that he's going to probably cost. So not only is that, again, I think they're reporting it's going to cost over $100 million, this parade. And this is a guy that's saying basically, you know, we have Doge in there to try to cut, but $100 million to do it. But if what I'm hearing, you know, from even back going to 2017 when he originally wanted to do this thing, because for those of you that don't know, is going back in 2017, he went to France, and we spoke about a little bit about this in a previous show where. And Malcolm goes there all the time, you know, Bastille Day, and he saw that. And I remember being in Washington with Rudy at the time. He came back and he was fascinated. He said, I'm going to do it. He wanted to go a parade. But back then we had some sort of guardrails and, you know, they stopped him. But right now, no guardrails. He's going full blast, and we're going to see what happens with that. So we're going to go into all of that. I want to start off by thanking every single one of you for being here, for all of the support. Those of you that know and follow me, Malcolm, Alex, so you know that we're, besides just sitting here giving you the information, we also have a strong call to action and a couple of things that we're talking about. One of the main things is right now, the biggest and the best way oh, sorry about my phone for a second. The biggest and the best way that we could do anything besides the protests and all of the super bad stuff that we're doing. One of the things we keep saying is, hit out your congressman, local, and especially some of those Republican ones that are on the verge of flipping, and speak to Hakeem Jeffries. Keep your voices loud to make sure that they cut some sort of deal. It's not about policies. It's not about being a Republican or a Democrat. Right now, we all have to join forces, put the policies aside. We could get back to them, because if we don't do this now, we won't have another opportunity to talk about policies, because Trump, he's telling you out right out front, he doesn't respect the Constitution, doesn't respect the laws, doesn't respect the courts, and most of all, doesn't respect the American public or anybody in the world. It's all about him. He wants to perfect his dictatorship and authoritarianship that he's been learning his whole life, and you're watching it play out. So with that said, Alex, first of all, how are you doing? Tell us, yesterday, I know you cut it off short. We heard the sirens going off.
Hello, Lev. Hello, everybody that's watching. Hello, Malcolm. Nice to see you guys.
Hey, Alex.
All good. Well, as we reported yesterday was a little scary day, scary morning, scary night, and it was getting pretty loud. So I had to leave. Sorry about that, but I appreciate everybody's support. Thank you for caring. But nevertheless, nothing happened at that time. It was a false alarm, because what they do is it's a tyranny. What they do is, I don't know if I explained it before. What they do is the airplane with rockets takes off, and as soon as it takes off, alert goes everywhere. Alert goes everywhere, and everything gets shut down because they're getting ready for that. And then the airplane could be flying a little bit, and then it goes down. And then when it goes down, alert is off. So as soon as everybody gets back to normal life, the shopping mall reopen the doors again. Another plane comes up, and again it could be flying for 30 minutes, and then it goes down. And sometimes, and then when people stop paying attention to it, then the next one fires, and it's like a roulette. Literally, it's like a roulette. So you never know what actually happens. So that's why we don't take no chances. But last night again, it was over 100 drones and couple of ballistic missiles were also fired yesterday. And the Sumy and Donetsk region got hit a little bit yesterday. But it was a two-way street, because from through my channels, we're doing a lot of damage to them as well. The oil refineries are burning without being able to put it out. We took out three helicopters, which are far away. They never thought we couldn't even get that far. We took them out. Two bridges, the logistic got damaged. Two bridges got taken out. So those down. Also through the sources, I hear that our forces are pushing in Kursk area again. Also, so
Course again.
yes, of course. And in Belgorod, in Belgorod, where the for a couple of days already is burning, the oil refinery that's spreads it to different places is on fire. So they're not even trying to put it out. They just call evacuation because it's impossible to stop. So it's burning. It's, I think, 20,000 square meters area. It's just burning like crazy. In Moscow, also, whether it's accident or local sabotage, the penthouse is burning like the one that costs over 10 million. It's right in the middle of Moscow, just burning high. So it's a lot's going on, and that's basically where we're at. But things got nothing
Thank
is.
God, Alex. Thank you, Malcolm. I mean, you hear Alex saying one of the interesting parts that is, first of all, obviously, Putin's continuously doing, talking supposed ceasefire, all of this. Trump, in the interview, we'll get to also what Trump basically said in this about Ukraine and Putin. The crazy part out. Did you see the interview, Malcolm? Did you get a chance to
Which
see
one?
with the Meet the Press?
Yeah, I saw Meet the Press interview. What I don't understand before we start anything is How are these people sitting there, Kristen Welker, constantly trying to be fair and balanced when the man is clearly mentally ill? And they don't follow up with questions like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Mr. President, are you fucking kidding me?" Now I see why Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible. He did not swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Not at all. He doesn't give two fucks about the Constitution.
And not only that, but did you see he finally said it yesterday? I don't know if you guys noticed it, but one of Donald Trump's biggest thing was always saying that Putin never wants to take over Ukraine. He doesn't want to go Poland. And yesterday he finally said it. He finally said, yes, Putin wants to take all of Ukraine, not just where he wants to take all. It's fucking.
Sure.
He's out of his out of his
Thanks,
mind.
Scott.
He's out
Yeah.
of his mind, out of his mind. So, I mean, Malcolm, tell us not only that, but also that nobody's talking about, like what Alex says, Ukraine's attack. The way the media is playing it out here. This is interesting because this is part of the brainwashing and part of the mega, to influence what the media is doing. Because the media here is playing it off like that Ukraine is getting their bombarded, sitting there, that they have no chance, that nothing is happening, that all they're doing is asking for help, and Zelensky's because that's all you hear is that Zelensky's asking for help, but in reality, Ukraine's kicking Russia's ass every single day. That is why Russia keeps attacking, because they know they're losing, because the only game they're winning is the propaganda game, the disinformation game. I'm saying, do you want to talk about that a little bit, Malcolm? Because I think
and all they're doing, look, if Russia was serious about winning the war, they would expend all these fucking weapons on the zero line. Right? They're not.
Right.
They're using drones in Kherson to hunt civilians. They're bombarding Odessa, which gives them zero value. To attack Sumy. Sumy is like what? 25, I've been there, like 25 kilometers from the fucking border. Same with Kharkiv, downtown, for 3 years, nonstop, every day. How many of those fucking weapons, if you were fighting a real war, would have been fired at the Ukrainian army? Because they're not. I've been downtown right next to the goddamn zoo when they bombarded the entire city park. And you're like, what the fuck? That is a war of terror. They're out to terrorize the civilians using these advanced hypersonic missiles for the sole purpose of hitting a city. Not aiming at anything in particular, but hitting a city. Same thing with the Shaheeds, right? They fall into commercial areas. That is the propaganda war. That's not fighting the war, because we know what happens at the war. They get killed. And I hear these people. I fought with some idiot yesterday on a Twitter space on what's his name, Main Space, where this guy, right winger, he's up there and he's just like, well, Ukraine's losing the war, and why are we funding? And it's like, where have you been for 3 years? They're winning this war they're not losing. Russia advances 10 kilometers. They lose 10,000 men to do it. And like Zelensky says, oh, we're going to get that land back. Don't worry about that part. We're going to get that land back, but your men are still dead.
And the funny part is, it's none of this is funny. It's sad, but I'm just saying to you, the funny part is Trump turns around and makes a stupid ass comment. You can't make a stupid say that the concession, when they was asked what concession Russia's going to give, the concession that Russia's giving is that he's going to stop them from taking over all of Ukraine. Really?
What?
Yeah. Well,
19% of Ukraine.
So you're saying they don't want to take over Ukraine right now? They've been doing it specially to carve out this particular spot. They didn't want to take over Kiev. It's insane. You can't even make
19% of Ukraine. Russia occupies 19% of Ukraine, and they've been occupying 12% of that since 2014.
Thank you. Just think about it.
So it doesn't sound like you're doing it very well.
Exactly. That's 7% basically in the past 4 years of fighting.
And it cost them 1 million men. We're pushing 1 million men dead and wounded and taken off the battlefield. Russia is losing that. And even at the most optimistic estimates are 450,000. That's the American estimate. It's a slaughter. Ukraine isn't losing anywhere near that number. The number is between 10-1 to 15-1. And Ukraine treats, rehabilitates. Guys are ready to run back onto the battlefield. I got a guy that's missing a leg below the knee, French guy, back in operations.
because the morale is a lot higher in the SA. It's one thing when you're
Much
defending; it's
higher.
another thing you're
Much
being
higher.
thrown into. Then you know better than anybody. But a lot of you are talking about China. Yes, we're getting into China.
We're
Absolutely.
gonna get into China, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because right now, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. That basically, Chi today reported he's coming over to watch the parade, and a lot of you think this is not just a parade. There's a lot going on. We're gonna break it down. Alex has some stuff that he's heard that what's happening behind the scenes with China. I'm hearing things. I want to hear what Malcolm's hearing, but China's a much bigger player in all of this than people can even understand.
Sorry.
I mean, first of all, obviously, we're going to talk about now what happens. Let's start off with that. What happens now with the attacks? Because we were talking about this ceasefire, and one of the things that Zelensky responded to, Alex, you said yesterday, a few days ago, is that if you want a ceasefire, you start ceasefire now. We're not going to wait and do a 3-day ceasefire for you to be able to celebrate the war. And also, Zelensky made a comment saying that, by the way, all the military is going to be in one spot, and during war, military is fair game, not like Russia's hitting civilians. We're talking millions. So he put that threat in the air. Now we have Chi coming in. That changes everything. Obviously, Ukraine is not going to go now bombard Russia while Chi is there. But what are you hearing, Alex? And then I want to get to Malcolm on his take, because I know he has a lot on the China situation.
Well, as far as the she's coming for 4 days, and from the reports that I saw, that he's not just coming for the parade; he's coming to sign some deals. He's also coming to sign some deals. That's why he's staying for 4 days. Also, the practice. Yeah, as far what you said about this, what our government said, they said that we can start the ceasefire on the 7th, not on the 9th, and it has to be for 30 days. That this is the only way it's gonna go. It's not gonna be for 3 days, and we don't guarantee anybody that comes to Moscow. We don't guarantee your safety, because this is war. You don't guarantee your safety.
I know, but they're not going to hit Chi. I mean, they're not going to hit China. I can't. I mean,
You're not
mean,
gonna hit the Chinese.
I know. Malcolm would say hit him 2-for-1, hit them both, 2-for-1 special.
No, no.
But they're not going to hit. They're not going to do that. We know that.
I definitely would not advocate hitting Chi, or even the parade while the parade is going on. I'll tell you what I would do. I would definitely launch 1,000 drones into Russia, so that every fucking air defense in Moscow has, they've surrounded it with air defense. And what you do is you make it so the parade has to be canceled and she has to leave. Right?
Don't actually hit it.
Right. Don't actually hit around Moscow. Right? And if there's 1,000 fucking drones coming for Moscow, they don't know what's going on. Every air defense system around Red Square is going to activate. They might start shooting in the fucking air at imaginary things. Chi has to get into his truck. All the dignitaries have to get in and leave. And Zelensky should say, we didn't hit Moscow. The war is going on around you, but now you understand what Kyiv is like, right? Where we all have to run to the bomb shelter every minute. You will not be allowed to have your parade. On the other hand, if I was Budanov, all right, and I work for good. If I was Budanov, I would definitely risk. I know it's high risk. Some FPV drones in Red Square the night before the march. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Kazakhstan is providing a large number of the S-300 air defense units and tanks. They borrowed them and they marched down to Moscow 3 days ago so that they could look like Russian tanks in this parade. So if there's S-300s there, in march formation, and they're parked off of Red Square the night before, that's a legitimate ass target. If they blow up in fucking Red Square, you're not harming anybody, but you're, a few FPV drones flown by the clandestine group of Gur. Those drones can fly 40 kilometers. right? Fiber optic.
I'm going to tell you, I definitely am for it, and I think 100% whatever. I mean, it's either with the drones or some sort of a sabotage, but Ukraine cannot let them have. They have exactly, Lynn. They have to send some sort of message. Even if I understand, because I do understand that China's right now telling Ukraine, don't you dare clear sky. They're
What are they
having.
going to do?
I know, I
What
know,
are
I
they
know.
going to do?
But see, but I also know Zelensky a little. I mean, well, to be fair, it's not the same Zelensky that I dealt with 5 years. It's definitely not the same Zelensky. It's not the same Ukraine. So they're definitely. But I'll tell you, it's not what they're going to do. But Ukraine does have that purpose of trying to do the right thing on the world. And if all of a sudden, I don't think they'd give them. But I definitely would agree with, even if they threw into drones, because what Alex said earlier, and then I'll go to you, Alex, right after that, is they're for this parade. They're clearing out basically most of the country's defenses and most of the countries. I mean, go hit them all over the place. Go
Hit them everywhere except
except
Moscow.
Moscow.
And
Exactly.
and make sure
Except
that you
Moscow.
bombard the periphery.
Either right,
Right?
that's that exactly. Go after Kursk, go after Bombard, go into Belgrade, whatever. Start hitting all of Russia. And I also agree they should send a message the night before when you have them standing up there. Do some sort of sabotage, because the embarrassment, people, you gotta understand. The embarrassment is worse than actually. They don't have to blow up anything in the Red Square. If there's something they could do to get this military parade stopped or canceled or moved or what, believe me, that's a huge win on its own. Go ahead, Alex.
It would be hilarious to
Yeah.
see some
Oh my
FPV
God.
drones hit
Oh
those
my God.
tanks
I
as
got
they're waiting on their transporters the night before, and you have FPV video, right, blowing up,
Right.
and it's just like, we're just fighting the war. Your parade doesn't start till tomorrow, bitch. Shouldn't have left this shit out in the street.
well. They
Don't
are
forget, man, our mighty Führer is planning his own parade. We're gonna get into in a little
Oh
bit.
God, yeah.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
get
talk
to
about the Great Trump Parade.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
well up to date. They are pulling PPO from all over the place to bring it to Moscow to protect Moscow. That means all the other areas are very vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Number two, that protection, it can handle the drones. But if you send in a couple of ballistics, by trying to shut down our systems, they will do more damage to Moscow than we can.
Mhm.
Because they're going to shut down some of their own planes, because it's going to be that it can create a house. But what they're doing by up to date, they shut down the internet for the next 4 days. Moscow has
Already.
only Wi-Fi. They have no internet already. People cannot communicate because it's a protection against the drones and everything else. So the
Because you could
communication.
detonate through internet, right, Malcolm? Is that correct?
Fiber optic, baby. Fiber optic. You don't need Wi-Fi at all. Here's what you need: a battery and a clear fucking line of sight. Right? So if you rent somebody's apartment or you break into somebody's apartment, this is what safe houses are for those special moments that you can go there and launch that freaking drone, or two or three or four simultaneously on fiber optics. The fiber optics are what control it, not Wi-Fi anymore. No radio signals. You can't jam fiber optic. And let me tell you something about Gur. Gore can get anything they want anywhere. They fucking run all around Russia. They blew up trains coming from fucking North Korea on the Manchurian border. I mean, they got people there, right? So, if they were to launch a few fiber optic drones, even like they did the first time where they hit the building next to the Kremlin, right? In clear view of all the cameras, you don't have to do it the day that Xi gets there. When does he arrive? You could do it the night before he arrives.
Exactly. That's
You
what I was
know,
gonna say. Do it the night before. Don't even give him the optics of being able to try to blame something and and try to use that. That's what I was saying because the Ukrainians are a little bit scared to get blamed for something. They get blamed. Listen, Trump's gonna blame them anyway. The world's gonna blame them anyway. That's just typically how it works. But listen, you guys, you both have been there. Know it. Are there? It's they try to do the right thing, especially when you're going through all of this controversy, disinformation that people, are blasting you. Just think about what the Ukrainians have to. I mean, I can't even imagine, like Alex and people there sitting there listening when Donald Trump says that they started the war. Where he tells where he tells Zelensky, you need to stop the war. Stop talking about missiles. I mean, just saying stuff like that. So I mean,
That's
it's
only half.
crazy. Go ahead,
half.
Alex. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
That's only half. Imagine Ukraine is still grandfathers. So to some people, fathers. A lot of people lost a lot of their relatives in the war. And for Trump to come out and say that America won the war and the war ended on the hate, it's like an insult to everybody else that fought in the war. Because a lot of people died from Ukraine defending everything.
All over the world, yeah. I mean, not just Listen,
So
I'm American. I mean, Malcolm's American, but and we agree with you. I mean, Trump is. I mean, it ties into even the disrespect and that he's throwing all over the world, and it's just that's the crazy part. I mean, how do we fix that? I mean, how do how because the temperaments all over the world, it's only growing. And again, it's only 100 days in. Literally, like I mean, 110 days. Where we're. I mean, we're not even in like half a year. I mean, we're only 3 months in.
I
Go ahead,
tell you,
Al.
at least he didn't say that it's because of him that they won the war.
Oh,
It's a
that's next. I mean,
miracle. He didn't say it's
that's
because
next. He'll attribute it.
his grandfather or his uncle or somebody.
his father, he'll say that Trump's had something to do with that 100. I mean, just think about it. I mean, guys, I gotta stop just on 1 second because when you said that, there's another thing. I just remembered. I mean, there's so much shit that this guy does that you can't. I mean, this is how crazy is this? I mean, I mean, I'm Jewish, but still, I mean. The guy did an AI image of himself. Not somebody, just think about this for them. Not somebody did an AI image of him. He personally did an AI image. He went and did an image of himself. Of him being as the Pope while the Pope just passed away. Like, I mean, you can't add on the insult on the insult. And then he goes posts it, and not only even that, the White House
Repost it.
reposts it on social media. And now you
You
got
know what?
mega. I mean, oh, and you got mega. And just think
Look,
about this. I'm sorry, Mark. I just got to make this one more comment. And for all of you that don't say cult. Be careful that you don't want to insult. What the fuck do you want to call it if all of these mega Catholics right now are sitting there saying, yeah, the new Pope, Donald Trump? Like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, Malcolm.
I'm a Catholic, and let me tell you, I was offended right out the box. The man's not even fucking cold yet. All right, the Pope. And here's Trump, who's a megalomaniac. Let's just make shit clear here. Donald Trump is mentally ill. And we need to start forcefully saying that, hey, this guy's not well. He's senile. He's got dementia. He thinks he's the fucking Pope. And here's what I get from MAGA. I had 100 people write to me on MAGA. Y'all don't know how to take a joke. You're always talking about taking a joke. You always say it's a fucking joke. All right. You might start throwing people out of airplanes over the Atlantic Ocean and go, well, it's a joke. Next thing you know, you're going to say that, if Trump walked on water, he can't swim. He can't swim. This is not funny. It degrades the position of the presidency of the United States to where he's a clown. And for the news media not to come out and say, we need to question the mental fitness of this person. He seems to have a mental illness.
Biden did this? Can you imagine Joe Biden did this?
It's ridiculous. But we've seen Trump just as bad as Biden on that debate. And they normalize his craziness because they're afraid. Fuck that shit. Any of you ever see it as forcefully as I'm saying, you say it. Hey, he's mentally ill. You know it. You're just fucking like it. He's a clown and he's going to kill people. He already killed half a million. with COVID and his bullshit, and you're going to sit and apologize for him. You got to tell MAGA off. Don't let their bullshit stand.
But the media, I mean, listen, he's not only threatening the media, but he's also going after the lawyers. He's trying to go after these big law firms.
Right.
And
I saw that 60 Minutes.
Abby Lowell, actually, one of the top lawyers, he defended Hunter Biden. Somebody I know, he actually left his big law firm, and now they're putting together lawyers to protect the lawyers. Because Trump's shutting down law firms not to go after this, so they can't sue him unless they agree with his agenda. He's shutting down the media. I mean, if people don't start realizing that it's not a joke, that this is like, that's why.
Well,
yeah. Go ahead, Malcolm.
that brings us to the part about Trump's parade, because I want to talk about this.
Let's do that.
I've mentioned this before, that there were things in the works, and I'll give you a soft opening. I started a political action committee called FAFOPAC, FAFOPAC.org, right? And we all know what FAFO stands for, right? Fuck around, find out, right? No, it stands for Focused Action, Focused Objectives. And the purpose of our political action committee is to say it in clear, no uncertain terms. All right. As I like to say, we're the Deadpool of the resistance. We don't give two fucks. Our motto of FAFOPAC is "We the people effing dare you." That's the motto. And what we want is, we are making a call for indivisible. We're making a call for a hands off. We're making a call for national ground game. We're making a call for moveon.org. We're making a call for any other social or resistance march group that have had some great marches. But there's one thing I noticed. It's all the same people going to every march. There is no one resistance organization.
Unite the shit.
We all need to come together on June 14th. Everyone needs to march everywhere in America. We hit 5 million people on April 5th. It needs to be 50 million people on June 14th. Anybody who comes to DC, come to see the parade. We're here to honor the military. Bring your American flags. Spoil his fucking birthday, though. Spoil Trump's birthday parade. Because he wants this to be about him. It's about us honoring the armed forces in Flag Day. So if every person in Washington, D.C., if we can get 1 million people in Washington, D.C. to come see the parade, and every sign is "No fucking kings, no clowns, down with Mad King Donald," he will not enjoy this parade. It is incumbent upon us, all of us, to come together. If you're in an indivisible group, tell them, indivisible, you guys need to come together and have a march on June 14th everywhere in America. Take over an overpass and put over signs and flags on June 14th. And the motto of this parade, the last one was "No kings." Now it's "No fucking kings." All right?
Can you imagine 2, 3, 4 million people marching on Washington, D.C. on June 14th? Where will the tanks go? Where will the parade?
Oh, no, the tanks will be fine. We're not going to block the parade. We're not going to block. We're all about the military. We'll honor the military. We'll salute and we'll wave and cheer. But when Donald effing Trump, Mad King Donald, thinks he's going to make a speech honoring himself and celebrate, that's what he said on the interview with Meet the Press, that it was about his birthday. It's the Army's birthday, but it's my birthday too.
2017. It was never about the. It's not like
right.
Bastille Day is about how many people France lost to be able to World War II. There's a reason they do that, and you'll tell us that reason. There's a reason. He took that and said, "No, fuck that. I want it about me. I need that shit about me."
The French lost millions in World War I and World War II. Okay? They take that very seriously. So their honoring the military is paid for in an enormous amount of blood. But the Champs-Élysées was designed for this.
That's another thing.
parade has been happening since Napoleon Bonaparte, right? Which is why they used the chasseurs, right? The Royal Republican Guard on the horses. That drove Trump nuts that he couldn't have that parade. I go to Bastille Day every year to honor the Special Operations Executive and the OSS, the Americans who fought in the French resistance in World War II. And it drove Trump nuts when he stood there at the Place de Concorde, the reviewing stand, tanks come rolling down the streets, airplanes come flying over, the Republican Guard comes on 100 fucking horses wearing Napoleon era costumes, and it freaked him out. He goes, I want that. Now, Eisenhower said it himself. We are not the communists. We don't do grand parades like the May Day parade to honor Donald Trump, because that's what this is all about. We all have to spoil this parade. I'm calling on all of you. Get on your Substacks, get on your Twitter, get on Facebook, and say it to all of your friends. 76 million of you voted against Donald Trump. 76 million. That's how many people should be out protesting that day, even if it's your front yard. Get out there, turn the American flag upside down. No fucking kings.
100%. And as we say all the time on all of our shows, doing nothing is not an option. So just like
Not
Malcolm
an
said,
option.
you can't make it to DC, you can't make it out there. Go in front of your house, get on social
Front of your
media.
house.
Go on social media in front of your house, wherever you can
Make a
do it.
video.
Make a video, exactly. I mean, everybody could do something. And the most important thing we need every single one of you to do is to go out there and bring each one of you, bring another 3-4 people. I keep telling you that.
Gotta
3,
bring
4
people.
We gotta build the platform, and we're gonna unite. We gotta build these, because we got all these movements, incredible movements. Malcolm, like what he just told you about. One of the
Yep.
things I've been talking about, making sure we go try to flip the House and get these congressmen and senators to start, joining force. And when I say flip it, I don't mean having Republicans become Democrats. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is to stop the policy talk and unite to save our country. We could all become Republicans, Democrats, Independents 3 months from now, 4 months from now, once we stop this maniac in his tracks. But right now, we need to unite. It's not a matter about which policy. It's not a matter about Roe versus Wade right now, because none of it's being done anyway. They're destroying everything, all our constitutions. That's why right now we need to unite. And there's several of them in there. All it takes is 6 or 7 of them. And these marches, this thing that Malcolm's doing, the FAPA, the pack, are you kidding me? Just think about simultaneously, you got millions of people, 50 million people. Oh, we lost Malcolm. We'll try again back. I think that has connection. But you got 50 million people all over the country going out there and marching. And at the same time, we're flooding the phone. The same people are sending emails, flooding the phones, and letting our voices be heard to all of these congressmen and congresswomen out there, and try to, because all it takes is one. And once you do one, then the dominoes start to fall. And that's why each and every one of you, do your job. Let me try to get Malcolm up here, guys. Give me a second. Let's see what happened. Let's see. Maybe his battery died. We'll give him a second. But yeah, while we're waiting for Malcolm, each and every one of you, like I said, we thank you from the bottom of the heart, but keep doing what you're doing, keep supporting, keep making sure. And for all of you paid subscribers, each one of us has on our platform some great stuff for you, content behind the scenes. But the most important thing is you paid subscribers allow all of these free subscribers and all the world to get the message. That's your part, because as you could see, none of my stuff is on any paywalls or stuff like that. I try to make sure everybody get, because the message is the most important thing. We need to make sure, because we need to stop him. And that's why it's so important for every single one of you to do your part, whatever that part is. But each and every one of you could bring 3-4 people. Each and every one of you could make our voices louder, because we need to get bigger and bigger. And then when we join forces, like Malcolm said, when all these groups come together, it becomes one power, because that is the only way we're going to be able to stop him. Because if we wait, like I know some of the pundits out there are saying, getting ready for the midterm. If we wait, folks, there will be no midterms. I promise you that. It's not because, he's telling you that himself. He's putting it together. And a lot of you say, well, in the Meet the Press, what's it called, interview, he also said that he's not looking for a third term. Folks, don't let him play those games with you. He told you he is. He isn't. It's not about even if he stays in power because of his age. Yes, he might not, but he wants to control who goes into office. He wants to make sure that we don't have. He wants to pass on the baton, pass on the coronation, not to be able to have a free and fair election. So understand that and make sure that's the important part, and that's why it's extremely important. While we're waiting for Malcolm, why don't Alex, tell us a little bit more about Ukraine because we got off the subject of Ukraine a little bit. We got into Trump's what's it called? We got Malcolm. There he goes. I want to get back a little bit to Ukraine because this is the voice from Ukraine, and I want to see if there's anything else that we want to let the public know or miss. Let's see, Malcolm. Uh, there you go. I thought we had Malcolm. If you hear me, I'm going to resend it to you again. Let's try it one more time. Let me see. And here we go. Substack is becoming so big, and the platform that they started to have a little technical issue, which is, I guess, a good thing. But they're working on a lot of this. Malcolm. Malcolm, restart. Sometimes you gotta restart your phone. Oh, there you go. There you go. We got it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is about this podcast, but it like blows through my battery. I had 35%, and now I look up and I'm at 1.
Actually, I'm watching mine also. You're right. It's.
I got this bad boy plugged in this time. I'm not playing games. All right, so where'd we leave off? 92 million. Oy.
What I was saying to you is right where we left off. I was telling the people actually that what we're doing is joining forces, and that's why they need to do their part. And we went through. I gave them actually a little bit of call to action. What I wanted to do is, I know we don't have too much time left before we wrap because there's some very important stuff. I want to do some housekeeping at the end.
Go ahead.
Because Malcolm has an incredible trip coming up to Greenland. We're going to talk about, and that you guys don't want to miss. But before we get into, I want to wrap up, with Ukraine because I know with Trump's craziness, we just went off. We went into this. What's it called? But I know, Alex, there's some stuff you might want to go into. Talk to us. The floor is yours, Alex.
Well, what I would like to do, I would like to talk a little more about the sea, about the China, about the.
Yeah. But actually, everybody wants to have been saying, "Let's talk China." I'm actually going to do a Substack letter for everybody about the relation between China, Trump, and Putin. So stay tuned for that one. We'll break it all down. Go ahead, Alex.
Well, I spent, I would say, I've been working in China for a couple of years, so I got to talk to a lot of Chinese people, a lot of factory owners, and the way China is, and in China they have a policy because there is so many of them, and people saying that we cannot think for ourselves. We need communists. We need our government to think for us. But because all over the world, everybody brings all the food into their table. But in China, he says we bring everything into one table, into the communist table. So we need government to control us. But the policy is to make sure that people stomachs are not empty, but they can never be full. This is
Wow, that's very important. I mean, just think about that, folks. How important it is. They make sure that they're not starving, that their stomachs are not empty, but never give them enough to be full.
never full.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, this is the through my channels and through the way Chinese approach to this Ukraine Russian war, because with Russia, they're already getting a lot of deals, which they're getting the oil well below the price what it costs Russia to even pull it out.
I heard that also. Below $50 they're getting.
They are helping them with all kinds of help and so on. But their policy is the same, to make sure that Russia doesn't lose and it doesn't win. Because
Wow.
if
That's
Russia
very interesting.
they cannot buy the oil cheap anymore.
Not only that, but that's very interesting, Malcolm. And I want to just touch on this. Is really interesting. That's just think about that for a second.
Mhm.
They don't want Russia, so they want to help Russia enough not to lose because
But
they
Yeah,
don't want Russia to lose. They want to control the oil. They want to get from economic,
I
but they
sus
don't want to.
I
But they don't
suspect
want to help them. Yeah, go ahead.
I suspect China, and I've been saying this for a couple of years now, really needs Russia to be a vassal state. China's a real power now. Okay, this is not a joke anymore.
Right, Joe.
They are not, sweatshop 500 children in a slave factory anymore. They're advanced factories building shit we can't build unless their advanced factories give us the materials to build it. And I suspect, maybe over the long run, she has his eyes on Manchuria, Mongolia,
Mongolia.
all of Eastern Russia, because China's gotten pushing 2 billion people now.
They need the
Ye-
land.
And look, there is no Russian army to stop a Chinese takeover of Eastern China other than their atomic bombs. But if it becomes a default, right, where Russian infrastructure collapses, all of their money, manpower, and weapons is expended in Ukraine, what are you going to do about it?
Just like
You will
91.
beg China to create roads in Siberia.
Yep.
You will beg them, and you will become essentially a servant state of the Chinese.
and it's already there because that they signed the 50-year lease
Yep.
for all the northern state. I remember that when it was done about 10 years ago. So they signed the lease, and there is already the whole area is covered more with Chinese than
Yep.
than there is Russian because it's empty. And Chinese come in and they build, they build, they build, they build. So they can never get rid of them. Russia can never
They're going
get
to
rid.
stay.
No.
No.
And the Chinese are giving them the drone technology. They're giving him also all kind of because with all the tariffs and going on, they're helping him with the shipping lines, the behind the scenes, they're all kinds of stuff. I mean, China's
But
really
nobody anymore left. Before the inauguration, everybody was in the shadow, tried to be involved somehow, but it
oh
was
nobody hides. Yeah,
now after Trump's approach, it's all open right now. Everybody's
Yep.
meeting. Soldiers are fighting there. They're helping them there. He's admitting he's coming to sign the deal with them.
yeah.
This is not a hush hush anymore. He Trump made everything open. Now there is no more. The
Listen, I've been saying it all along. Trump back in the first administration, it was all a shadow diplomacy. Now he's a
Right.
shadow diplomacy. now,
Yeah.
now it's all wide in the open, right? I mean, there's no
Yep.
like I mean, you still have a little, and that's why and that shadow diplomacy in the Steve Woodcock era because I think he left
Yeah.
that behind because because he really is using that to establish some wealth. I think the one thing that people are missing also, guys, they're not realizing how badly Trump wants to be a real billionaire, a real rich guy. See, what people also don't understand is through all of Trump's career, Trump always, like fake it till you make it type of stuff, but on a different level. Like Trump played with the big boys where he tried to make himself be one of the richest guys alive, but he always was over leveraged, in default, and, was always, somebody else's money, borrowing here, doing this, making it, yes, on paper, he looked like a billionaire, but he never had the money. Not like the Elon Musks of the world or others or the oligarchs in Russia. And Trump watched that. And now he's actually establishing, and that's why he has guys like Witkoff. He has Witkoff's son that we've been talking about. I don't know if you heard about this. Is Zach Witkoff in doing crypto deals in Dubai with
Right.
the
Yeah.
Trump, the young
The
Trumps
UAE.
with Eric and them. So and they're literally like just the way they're using the cryptocurrency and the meme coins and all of that, the billions and billions of dollars that they're amassing and making right now. Plus I mean, they're building
Hmm.
a Trump Tower in Dubai right now. I mean, it's incredible. And even in the interview, when she asked him, she said, "But they're selling 2028 merchandise," and he said, "Yeah, great, makes another couple of dollars." I mean, like this is the president of the United States. I mean,
No, it's not.
how is he allowed to get? This is what I'm saying to you, Malcolm.
He's
Like,
allowed to do it because the news media now is so cowed. They're so afraid of MAGA. MAGA now means white American man. That's what it means. And they're really worried about being killed. And what's acceptable to the white American man now is now acceptable. And if that means it's like that woman who just made $500,000 in a GoFundMe for calling a black 5-year-old black child the N-word on video, and
I see that.
17,000 white supremacists are giving her $500,000. It's at $500,000 right now. That's now acceptable. What was decent and kind in the past is not. Is no one's opposing it because no one's getting up. Okay, before we go, I know we're getting to the end of this, and I know we have about 5 minutes. I got to talk to you about Greenland, and not just because I know I've been hinting for the last couple of weeks. I've been planning to go to Greenland for the last 4 weeks. I did a study, you might recall, on my Substack called The Coming Invasion of Canada and Greenland. Now Trump's saying he won't invade Canada, right? Because, but he wants them to collapse economically and join us. And then yesterday, when Christian Welker asked him straight up, do you rule out the use of military force for Greenland? He said no. He said, I'm not going to do that. He goes, we need Greenland. We need to get back to Greenland. We want Greenland. We have to have it. These are phrases. And then the one thing that got me the most there, Lev, I don't know if you can hear me, but the one thing that got me the most is when he said, it'll be a surprise. And I said, oh, shit, here it comes. Fortunately for me, I had been delaying my trips to Greenland. I couldn't go last week because the king of Denmark showed up there. A blizzard hit the capital and delayed all flights 24 hours, had a knock-on effect. My flights got canceled, and I got pushed back to this week. I leave tomorrow night for Copenhagen, and I'll be doing a live from Copenhagen on Wednesday night with a defense analyst from Denmark. But Thursday, when you and I do our Unleashed, I will be in Nuuk, Greenland. And here's why. Trump is not joking about this. And the only way to do it, I've studied the maps. Greenland makes Norway's fjord system look like a playground. It's got so many waterways, fjords, 57,000 people living on land that's the distance from Miami to Maine, the East Coast to the Mississippi. And every effing inch of that is not one of those settlements is 1 mile deep ice. But who shows up in Greenland yesterday when Trump makes this statement? One of his former heads from commerce is there in southern Greenland in Narsarsuaq going to go inspect mines and is out there on Facebook and Twitter putting out how he's on boats down there inspecting mines in southern Greenland. And he's a representative of Trump. The only way you're going to take Greenland, and this is why I'm going there to meet the people. I'm going to meet the prime minister. I'm going to meet all the political figures. Then when I leave, I'm going to Copenhagen. Hopefully I can get an audience with the king. By the way, King of Denmark is a badass. That motherfucker was a Denmark Navy SEAL.
Wow.
When he was a prince, he went through their SEAL program and served as a goddamn commando for a few years as a prince.
And that's right, Callie. Malcolm is a badass, and so is Alex. And
I'm not badass. But I am going to do something. Here's the problem, that I have to take a local camera team with me, and I'm pasting up there. Whoops.
Yeah, put it up there. That's how. Let me tell everybody while you paste it up there.
All right.
So everybody, this is very important. I want everybody to, while Malcolm's doing this, this is what. How many people do you guys know, and probably none on Substack, that do what Malcolm is doing right now, that Alex is putting together to do? Malcolm is going to Greenland, folks. Greenland, where, trust me when I tell you, it's not pretty. It's not Riviera. It's not somewhere where, it is freezing. It is dangerous, and it's extremely expensive. But he's going there to make sure that you guys, our subscribers, get the full aspect of what really is going on and what Trump's doing. So, and Alex is doing that same thing. He's preparing a trip to Ukraine. That's why why it's so important that each and every one of you do your job. So Malcolm
Yeah.
just posted his GoFundMe that we put together
Yeah.
to be able to, because go ahead, Malcolm, tell them what the GoFundMe is
Yeah.
for.
What I'm doing is I'm putting up a GoFundMe link. I'm funding my trip, but I have to take local Inuit camera person and guide because first off, let me tell you something. I've been to Monte Carlo. I've been to the French Riviera, Nice, Monte Carlo, Montpellier, Marseille. I've been to all of those places. Okay. I've never seen a place as expensive as Greenland.
Oh.
I mean, to fly between two small towns, Ilusiat in the north and Nuuk, the capital, is $1,000 round trip per person on a little propeller plane. It ain't funny. The ferry from Ilusiat to 4-day ferry from Ilusiat to Katortuk in the south is $2,000. So to support the local Inuits, who will be supporting me there. The reason it's so expensive is somebody asked a good
Yeah,
question.
because you don't
Is
have the
that
people, you don't have the
when you look at the map, Greenland's this big, right? But only this much of Greenland on the southwest side is inhabited. And that little place has several little settlements that total like 40,000 people. It's 57,000 total in the country. The capital only has 18,000 people. Everything comes in from Denmark and other parts of the European Union. But the distance is this little leg right here is like 400 miles. The U.S. space base up here is 1,000 miles from the capital. And it's, I mean, did I mention it was a 1 mile deep ice sheet? The place is huge. If I go to the east, we have to carry rifles because there's polar bears. And a minimum of one person per team has to have polar bear and hunting rifles. That's like 300 Win Mag up there.
I just want everybody to think up there. So Malcolm has to carry rifles because of where he's going to be able to give you guys a feed. Alex
Fucking polar bears, bro.
Right. But Alex has to carry AK-47s to give us some feed because he's in the. So you're talking about two people out there.
Alex can go get. Alex, you can go take my body armor I have in Kyiv and my M14 rifles in Kharkiv, though, with my battalion. You can man up. But listen, I put up a GoFundMe link.
Yes.
The GoFundMe is not for me. The GoFundMe is for the Greenlanders who will go there with me to support that team. So if you guys could toss in a few bucks to that GoFundMe, I know we put up a big number, but that was a month ago. We're going to try to shoot for $5,000. And that way I can fly these guys around. And we're going to do live Substacks from Greenland. All right. This will be amazing. But the reason I'm doing it is it's pretty damn sure, based on the way Trump is talking, we are going to have special operations and CIA people and Department of Homeland Security are going to land there without any warning on a clandestine airplane, and they're going to take the Capitol. That's the way it's going to be. And I'm going to go around and do a military assessment of what would happen. The problem is every man in Greenland's got a rifle that hunts polar bears. And not whales, sea lions and seals. And these are not small hunting guns. These are 800-meter killers. And they don't like this. So I'm going to go meet them, the Danish Navy, the Arctic Command, the Chief of Police, hopefully the Prime Minister. And I'm going to get their frank views. I will be the first American to go there and not say, what do you think of Donald Trump's plan? I'm going to say, how do you intend to defend yourself when this happens? That's what no one has asked. How will you spoil an American invasion? And there's going to be a lot of warning, but this is going to be live on the scene. I got to take the ferry. The ferry, by the way, has to go through the Ilusiat ice fields, which is where the iceberg that sank the Titanic originated. It's just not a fun.
Just think of it. everyone out there right now, I want you to go out there and make sure, let's get this GoFundMe done quickly so Malcolm and could get these indigenous people and get them paid. So it's great for them, but it's going to be great for every single one of you. And make sure you subscribe. Every single one of you go subscribe to every one of us here to make sure, because without you guys, we can't do it. And we need to build this platform. We need to build our voice bigger and better. Let me give you a little quick housekeeping. First of all, like Malcolm said, this Thursday, make sure you Unleashed coming straight from Greenland. You don't want to miss it. 3 p.m. It's going to be off the charts, so you want to set that up. We got.
Did I mention it's 27 degrees there? The high is 27.
I can't. I don't want to.
It's snowing.
We want to see you in your
Gonna be wearing a fucking polar. I got my down mountain climbing suit, buddy. I ain't playing games. That one I took to Nepal.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be amazing. Thank you, by the way.
Thanks, Sterling.
All of you donate. God bless every single one of you. Keep passing it. Let's get that done. Alex is putting his trip together he's gonna go over to Odessa. Similar trip to what Malcolm's doing. It's all for you guys to make sure that you get content that not only the media is not gonna show you, but nobody else is gonna show you, because now we bring facts, but it's also incredible stuff that you're part of history, folks. This is history, and we're saving our democracy together. So every one of your part counts. So again, God bless. Oh, by the way, don't forget, for all you paid subscribers, this week we got Story Time with Lev that we're doing chapter 4 and 5. You don't want to miss it. It's been incredible. Everybody it's been growing every single day. And also the Q&As that Malcolm does and I do. There's special Q&As. Mine is 5 o'clock right after. So you definitely want to become a paid subscriber just for this, because we're going to do our Q&A live right after our show with Malcolm Unleashed. And every one of your dollars supports this movement. It helps us do what we do, and make sure to keep you guys informed and up to date, because the information we're giving you, but trust me when I tell you, is like nowhere else. So, and your job is to go spread it. So thank you again. Have a great day. Stay tuned. Subscribe, because Malcolm has stuff coming to you. Alex is putting stuff together. I have some Substack coming. You got a lot of information coming. So make sure you subscribe. And like I said, God bless every single one of you. And Malcolm, safe flight tomorrow. Next time we speak, we'll be from Greenland. I look forward to it. But, make sure we have some nice polar bears, sea lions. I want the whole, get up. And I'm interested. I want to hear about also the culture of Greenland. People food wise and all.
The culture is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm going to do tours. I'll do all sorts of videos. So we'll do a special subscribers only, and we'll tour Nuuk.
We'll put together. It's awesome. And Alex, you stay safe. I know you got a lot you're working. I know you're going through bombardment every day. So I know we keep light of it sometimes, but we never forget how dangerous and really exactly what exactly is happening. So, God bless you and the people of Ukraine. And you know what? Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming. It's only Monday, folks. It's only Monday, 1 o'clock in the Eastern. And just think about all the shit that's happened over the weekend and already today. But there's a lot more coming, because Donald Trump is in office. So, it is what it is. So God bless everyone. Malcolm, safe flight. Alex, Slava Ukraini.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.